Hey guys, this is the Talking Trampoline. Welcome back to another episode because I am thirsty as all fuck of the Grunkle Fucker Simulator. Let's get right back into it because I actually couldn't wait until tomorrow to make another episode. Let's finish this. Ha ha ha. You don't think you've been ever more nervous in your life. Mabel came with you yesterday when you went shopping for extra clothes, since Stan's mechanic skills left your car still being worked on, and you realized you needed more clothes than you packed. However, she managed to sneak in a relatively fancy set of clothes to add to your pile of summer-appropriate clothing, and she flourishes them in your direction with a wide, brace-faced grin. Ta-da! For tonight. You stare at the fancy outfit like it's going to jump out of Mabel's hands and attack you. Mabel, are you sure Ford agreed to this? Of course he did. I asked him and everything. He dropped whatever he was working on instantly. And it hit the other stuff on his desk, which fell on the floor, and then he said, I'd love to, but I'll need a fashion makeover. Please help me, Mabel. You're my favorite great niece. Okay, so he actually said something else, but he said yes at the end of it. I fucking love Mabel, she's so fucking adorable. Now come on, I have to put the finishing touches on this perfect date. Get dressed and come to the living room. She shoves the clothes at you and leaves you in the room to get yourself ready. What do you do? What do I do? I'm so nervous. Because I am nervous. You put on the outfit Mabel picked for you and head to the living room where Dipper promptly guards the way into the kitchen with his noodle arms. Mabel wants me to keep you in here until Great Uncle Ford is ready. Oh, okay, then I'll stay here. You take a seat in Stan's recliner, trying to look relaxed and composed, but your shaking hands give you away to Dipper, who's reading in the front door. You look nice. I know Mabel picked it. I kinda helped, but it's nice. He's trying to distract you. Sweet kid. You smile at him, he smiles back before returning to his book, The Field Guide to Bigfoot. Elise, you can come in now. You jolt to your feet, heart in your throat. What do you do? Got any advice, Dipper? Dipper stands up and awkwardly pats your hand. Just be yourself, Elise. Great Uncle Ford likes you, I can tell, trust me. He gently shoves you towards the kitchen door. It looms in front of you menacingly. Now go get him, Tiger. Was that weird to say? Good luck out there, dating my great uncle. Gross. Anyway. Ha! With surprising strength, Dipper pushes you through the door and Mabel opens it. And you stumble into the kitchen, look up and... Oh God. What? Oh God! Heavy breathing! I need a sip of my drink. Almost choked again. Look at him! I actually don't know what to say. Oh God, Ford's dressed up too. He's in a 3-piece suit with a maroon necktie. How did Mabel know your only weakness? Well, that and... Wait. He has flowers. He has flowers! Ladies and gentlemen, he has flowers. Oh my God, no, he's blushing. He has flowers. He's wearing a 3-piece suit. And he's blushing. It's fucking Christmas up in here. You make eye contact after examining from one another and you feel your face flush as red as his. Mabel beams, clapping her little hands together. Fuck's sake. You're going to be the death of me, game. I'm not going to survive this series. Yay! Now it's the moment we've all been waiting for, the Mabel certified dinner date of dreams. I knew Grunkle Ford would be hopeless on a romantic dinner date on his own, so I'm here to make this one perfect. You only now notice that she's wearing a bright pink apron and that something smells very burnt. Mabel, Dipper pushes you further into the kitchen and Mabel shoves Ford forward, and the two of you stumble almost into colliding with one another. Ford straightens up and clears his throat, his face as red as his tie. Well, these are for you, Elise. You take a closer look at the bouquet and discover that a third of the bouquet are real flowers. They look like to have been picked from outside the shack. Another third are pipe cleaner flowers with glittery petals, and another third are origami lilies. Judging by both Ford and Dipper's paper cuts and Mabel's sparkly sticky fingers, they collaborated to make your bouquet themselves. That's so fucking cute. I can't. They're going to be the death of me. This is the cutest thing you've ever seen in your life. Thank you for stating the obvious. Let's not be a dickhead and say these look questionable. What the fuck is wrong with you? I didn't know you folded origami. Oh, well, yes, a little. Dipper made the majority of the flowers, but he needed help during the lily petals. That was my contribution. Great Uncle Ford, you did way more than that. You picked the colored paper that the lilies were gonna be too. They're red, of course. From your limited knowledge of color symbolism, the message is clearly sent across and you flush as scarlet as the lilies. Thank you, Ford. They're beautiful. Well, I'm glad you like them, Elise. Ford smiles at you. You attempt to smile back, but you're too flustered to really make the expression. Hopefully he understands what you mean. Dipper takes the flowers off you and manages to stuff the bouquet into an empty 2-liter bottle of Pit TM, sticking it in the middle of the table so you can't see Ford anymore once you sit down. You carefully scoot the vase to the side until Ford's pink cheeks and nervous expression are visible again, even if you're certain you look even more pink with embarrassment. Well, I'll leave you guys to it then. Chef Mabel, you ready? Sure am, bro, so ready. God damn it. My thirsty ass is just dying over here. Mabel is standing on the stool and readying 2 plates of food, the contents of which you can't see yet due to the mess of her hair and Dipper's hat. Ford waves at you and you turn to him, leaning forward so he can whisper to you. Do you have any idea what's going on over there? So yeah, she has a bowl of jelly beans, so whatever happens, I'm eating all of those. Oh really? Not if I get to them first. The two of you share some intense eye contact in the name of rivalry before you start laughing and Ford grins at you, shaking his head. Ha! They're all mine, boy. Mabel rolls around and hops off the stool, brandishing 2 glasses of something disturbingly bubblegum pink. She places them down on the table with a flourish. Ta-da! 2 tall glasses of Mabel juice. Such a delicacy! What ingredients did you use? You glance at Ford, giving him a face of play along, please don't leave me alone in this. Oh yes, Mabel, this looks truly exquisite. Pray tell, what's your method? Are the plastic dinosaurs and Monopoly pieces just decoration for this fine creation? Mabel is too busy giggling at you both to answer, and she thankfully doesn't notice that neither one of you touch your drinks. Ford's too busy smiling at you from across the table as you ask Mabel about her secret ingredients for Mabel juice, and whether she used a blender or a food processor to mix it all together, calling it a true work of art. Anyways, on to the main course. Voila! Mabel turns back to the stove and grabs 2 plates of food covered with cloth. She places one in front of Ford and one in front of you before stretching across the table and pulling both cloths off the plates at once. What awaits you on your plate is horrifying to say the least. Fuck. There's a pile of 3 very burnt chicken nuggets, dinosaur chicken nuggets, as if you'd expect anything else, some half-wet, half-dry noodles with a slice of cheese draped across the top, and a handful of jelly beans, the special ingredient, of course. The Mabel special. I'm not a fancy cook, I'm just a cute little girl, but I slaved away at this romantic dinner for the two of you, dang it. Mabel, this looks... Ford looks to you, panics. Oh shit, am I going to have to say something? I'm going to say just in case, Jesus fuck. So Mabel, you made this? Sure did. Your entire high cuisine meal tonight was prepared by Chef Mabel. Yes, I gathered that. Ford pokes at a chicken nugget with his fork. Black flakes flutter off the surface and he shudders, a look of concern on his face. Oh no. Flakes? No. Gross. I love you, Mabel, but goddamn, get a cooking thing. I don't know, just learn! You and Ford dig into the jelly beans, going as far as to try and spear them on your forks to play the part of high cuisine dinner. Ford seems to relax a little as the dinner continues, but once the last jelly bean has been eaten, the two of you go silent once again. Ford glances between you and the remains of his food, swallowing hard. Mabel rushes in to save the date. Oh, of course, I forgot the sauces and stuff. Silly Mabel. Mabel goes into the fridge, grabs bottles of ketchup and mustard, placing them on the table next to... Is that the blue glitter we used on the cupcakes? Yep, you're lucky there's still some left. Why is it here? Garnish, silly. What do you garnish your meal with? Okay, I'm gonna save. And I'm going to pick the blue glitter. You pick up the glitter and shake some onto the burnt chicken nuggets. While they're now blue and twinkly, the glitter hides the burnt bits and makes the nuggets a little more fabulous. Why? They're pretty now. Add a little glitter and anything is possible. Ford laughs and you hold the bottle of glitter in front of him, shaking it enticingly. Come on, join me with my pretty nuggets. If you say so. That's so adorable. I love how he just plays along with it. Ford decorates his nuggets with glitter and your respective plates shine under the kitchen light. Mabel looks at you both expectantly, like you're going to chow down into your dinners now that they've been appropriately soused up. Eat up! You've still got a lot of food left. Okay, save again. I don't want to fuck this up. Okay. Attempt to eat the burnt chicken nugget. You gingerly pick up one of the chicken nuggets and take a very, very small bite out of the edge. It's crispy and burnt, but edible to some extent. You swallow your bite and quickly take a sip of your drink. Ford stares at you in total awe, like you just defeated a gremlin with one punch. Damn right, I've got skills. You have glitter on your mouth. Oh, I do? Where? You lean forward in question and Ford carefully reaches his arm over the table, wiping the glitter from your bottom lip. Both of you flush at the gentle contact, especially since all the while he's gazing down at your mouth, hopefully thinking the same thing as you are. Just kiss me already, for fuck's sake! There, I got it. Okay, no kiss. Kiss. Talk little kisses. He quickly sits back down in his chair and you do the same, avoiding eye contact until your faces turn back from red. Mabel squeals in a corner, clapping her hands together. You little shit, I love you. Mabel stares at you both, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, awaiting some sort of magic to happen. You swallow nervously and look to Ford before you cup your hand at the side of your mouth, hiding your mouth's words from Mabel's eye. I have an idea. You tap your head with your other hand, charading your idea further. Ford gestures across the table as if to say, the floor is yours. Okay. I really want to know what sweat nervously does. Oh no, you sweat a lot and it's not from the Mabel juice. Oh no, Elise, are you too hot? Are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. I'm just... Wait, an idea at last. It's sorta hot in here, Mabel. Could you go turn the thermostat down, please? Ford nods, theatrically tugging at his collar. Yes, Mabel, it is exceedingly warm in here. Can you please go turn the heat down? Of course, anything to make you two lovebirds comfortable. Mabel hops down from her stool and snaps her fingers at the two of you. No canoodling while I'm gone, okay? She leaves you both red-faced and stammering as she skips out the door. Ford turns to you, smiling nervously. Elisa, I know Mabel tried her best, but I'm not accustomed to the dating game, as Stan calls it. For the first time in a while, I don't know what to do. Do you? You stop, thinking for a moment. Dipper told you something earlier that day, an idea, in case that Mabel's certified first date of dreams went awry. You suppose this is the perfect moment to enact Plan B. Alright, but we gotta act fast. Watch my movements. You pick up your plate and struggle not to laugh as Ford mimics you almost perfectly, and shovel the contents of your dinner into Waddle's mouth. The piglet chews, swallows, and nuzzles your leg. Really? According to Dipper, Waddles will eat anything. You give him yours too, that way it looks like we ate. You hear footsteps tunneling down the hallway. Mabel's on her way back. And quick! You gently push Waddles towards Ford, who quickly feeds him the rest of the dinner. Waddles snorts happily at the two of you before settling between your feet, content and full. Good Waddles, the best boy of them all. And I'm back. Hey you guys, we're just kidding around. What did you think of the dinner? Waddles burps. Perfect. Absolutely delicious, Mabel. You're quite the chef, you know. Mabel beams happily at you both. Also, Mabel, can we take desserts to go? I want to take Ford somewhere on this date. Ford flushes scarlet at that. Mabel looks between the two of you and nods, waggling her brows at you. You sly dog, of course. Let's go Funkle this Grunkle. No, just kidding. No, I'm not. With a popsicle each, you lead Ford away from the shack, away from town, and up a hill. Where are we going? Oh, this is it, but... You point upwards with your popsicle and... A meteor shower? The timing almost seemed too perfect. I didn't want to miss out on seeing it with you. You both blush as you sit down, shoulder to shoulder. I'm surprised you went looking into meteor showers, Elise. Well, after our last time searching for anomalies, I got curious about other celestial stuff, as Dipper told me about it. Also, Dipper told me about it. Plan B. Ford laughs. That kid's bright. The twins are both very smart and very close for siblings. Ford pauses and it's obvious there's something on his mind. Okay, save. Save that shit and then hump it. They are pretty cute. Ford turns to you, his mouth open as if he was going to say more, but he closes it. I'm surprised at how close they are, practically inseparable. Stan and I were never like that. You seem like you are now. What happened? Oh no, he's sad. Don't be sad. Well, we were very close. Best friends, but once we got to high school, things changed. You realize that Ford's hand is resting a few inches from yours. Casually, so casually that you're almost casual Fridays themselves, you scoot your hand closer to his, still too nervous to take it for yourself. Did something happen? Well, yes, something happened. Ford sighs, leaning back on his palms. He notices your hand near his, thinks for a moment, but decides to keep talking instead. Stan and I had plans since we were children. We were going to get on a boat and sail far away from our New Jersey home, far away from our family, friends, everyone. Just him and me in the Santa War, the boat we fixed up. I had a chance at admission to the college of my dreams, my other dreams anyway. I always thought the Santa War was a lost childhood fantasy, and that one day we'd grow up and go on our separate ways, and we wouldn't be as close as we used to be. My acceptance into said college hinged on the results of my science fair project, a perpetual motion machine that I designed. The machine was flawless. The calculations were triple checked, and I had rehearsed my full presentation in preparation. I could practically see myself at that university, studying with endless resources at my disposal and getting several doctorates. Ford sighs again, rubbing his temples. But? It was the day of the science fair. The admissions team from the university were there in front of me, ready to view the machine. I pulled off the cloth cover and it was broken. My entire future was ruined. Oh, Ford. A perpetual motion machine has one job: to not stop. The admissions team left, crossing me off their considerations, rejecting my entire presentation, my calculations, my hard work. My chances of going to my dream school scrapped. It wasn't until I found a bag of toffee peanuts on the ground that I realized Stan had something to do with it. After that, we didn't talk for 10 years. I went to university, but it wasn't exactly my first choice. It wasn't until I came to Gravity Falls that I saw Stan again, and he cuts himself off sharply, deep in reflection. He looks so heartbroken, so sad. Okay, save. I'm gonna save. Just in case. Continue? You stayed quiet, watching him think. What happened when you saw Stan? Ford sucks in a deep breath. We fought. I heard him. It wasn't on purpose, but I still heard him. Then an accident happened and I lost him again. I didn't see him for another 30 years after that. You're tempted to pry, to ask what the accident was, but Ford seems finished with the story. He swallows nervously, awaiting a response. Oh, geez. Everything's better now, right? Yes, of course. Wait, no, I don't know. I was selfish when I came back. I blamed him for everything. In a way, it is his fault, but he did his best to keep us together. Ford exhales. He looks tired, wiser than you remember. The man you play dungeons and more dungeons seems to have disappeared. You're right, Elise. I am? Oh, God. Look at that boy. You are. I never looked at it like that. I never looked at you like that. You're smarter than I expected. No, I'm not. I'm not smart. Man, it's hot up on this hill, sweltering even. Maybe that's just you, who knows? Well, I have my moments, I suppose. I don't mean that kind of smart, Elise. I mean a different sort of smart. You're kind and what the fuck was that? You're kind and caring and he suddenly realizes how close you both are. And I've never met anyone as wonderful as you. The feeling's mutual, Ford. What do you do? Kiss the cheek. You lean forward a little. Ford stiffens. Are you sure that... Ford. You cup his cheek in the palm of your hand, duck to the other side of his face, and gently press your lips to his cheek. His cheeks both flush pink, and you can feel the warmth under your fingertips. Wow. Better than the burnt chicken nuggets? Ford snorts, resting his forehead against yours. Far better. Unbelievably better. Yay! Yay! The two of you head back towards the shack, hand in hand, in a comfortable silence. Once you reach the door, Ford grins sheepishly. I wanted to say thank you for tonight, for being there for me. Anytime, Ford. I had a great time. You stand at the door to his house like two teenagers on a first date. Well, you suppose. And, hopefully we can have more dates like this. Ford flushes red at the mere mention of a date, which is adorable. You start laughing. Yes, we shall most definitely have to engage in more of these dates with you and myself. Dating. You smile at him, and his blush further spreads to the tips of his ears. He exhales, tugging at his collar. Well, if I get to see you smile like that again, then I'd be happy to have more dates. It's your turn to flush pink, and you both laugh as the front door swings open. Standing in the doorway is Mabel, who looks relieved to see you both. Where did you go? I gave you dessert and you abandoned me. You sly kids. Go sneaking off to have fun by yourselves. Did you have fun? You and Ford glanced at each other grinning. We certainly did. Eee, I'm so glad. Now come inside before you get bitten by mosquitoes. Dipper's friend yells from inside. Mine spell out, does that spell dating? Both yourself and Ford shout, what? Simultaneously at that. He's making that up for comedic effect. They really just look like a cat paw today. Dipper appears at the front door with Mabel scratching at his arm. Yeah, I did. Want to see the cat paw though? You turn to Ford, who looks very excited to see this connect the dots mosquito bites. We'd love to, Dipper. I bet it doesn't have 6 toe beans. Ah, toe beans! Come on, Dipper, I want to see now. Mabel grabs you, Dipper grabs Ford, and you're both tucked into the shack, your laughter echoing into the woods around the house. Yay! Whoop-de-doo! The dates continue, in a quiet alcove of the Gravity Falls Library and on the roof of the shack past midnight. They're simple compared to the production of Mabel ripped up for the night of the meteor shower, but Ford seems to more comfortable this way, and really so are you. You've learned more about him, but it's like he's still holding something back. In your conversations, it feels less like he's just spent a year away sailing and more like he spent half his life in another universe. For instance, during the afternoon at the library, he attempted to print nearly 3 decades worth of academic papers in physics, and you had to remind him about the existence of both PDF downloads and USB drives. But whatever past he's hiding, you're not sure you'll ever find out. The magic stance worked on your car has rendered it almost operational again, meaning that your time at Gravity Falls is coming to a close, and that today's the last date you have with Ford. Oh no, I don't want to leave again. You arrive at Gravity Falls community pool just a minute after sunset. Pinks, oranges, and yellows streak across the sky like a splash of maple juice. Despite it being after hours for the community pool, the front gate is open, thanks Dipper, and you sidle inside, taking in the abandoned floaties and the several times special edition soggy towel on the floor. A few minutes pass before Ford arrives, signaled by his accidental slip-on said several times towel and a quiet curse at his clumsiness. Don't worry, I nearly stood on it too. Someone must have left it behind, though maybe for a good reason. He picks up the towel between forefinger and thumb, something sticky drips off the deep Chris's forehead. Ford shudders and drops it again. Children and their boy bands. Make sure Mabel is not around to hear that. I'm fairly certain she'll disown you. At least Baba actually had some good songs back in their day. Money, money, money must be funny in a rich man's world. Ford turns to you and you notice something. His curious expression softens as you stare at him, and he makes his way over to you, tilting his head down in your direction. Curse him for being so dang tall and cute, even though... Ford? Yes? You have a California fridge magnet stuck to your forehead. Ford immediately flushes bright red, eyes widen with surprise. Really? Peel it off his forehead. You pull the magnet off his forehead, examine it for a moment, and then lightly tap his nose with it. He flushes a somehow deeper pink, grinning bashfully at you. Ford sits on the edge of the pool and dangles his feet in, having not worn a swimsuit. You have one under your clothing, but you're kind of nervous to get undressed. Say fetch it, and then hump it. Stay to rest. You sit with Ford on the edge of the pool, swinging your legs back and forth in the water. You two sit in silence for a moment. Do you go swimming a lot? Me? No, I used to swim a lot as a kid since we lived close to the ocean, but now, not really. Why not? Never had the time, I suppose. I was always so busy with my work that I never realized we even had a community pool until Mabel told me about it. It goes quiet again. Ford's hand skims across the surface of the water, tracing tiny waves with his fingers. He looks to be so deep in thought, like something's troubling him. You stay silent and instead start swirling your finger in the water too, occasionally curling your finger around his. It's an accident, of course. Eventually, you both stop messing with the water and leave your fingers linked together, which gradually turns into his hand taking yours and all of your fingers intertwining, knuckles brushing against water. Ford swallows. Out of the corner of your eye, you see his face is tinted pink and it's probably not from the sunset. He seems nervous, more nervous than on your Mabel certified date of dreams, which is strange considering the context. That one was pretty forced. Ford, do you trust me? The question comes in one breath out of nowhere. His grip on your hand tightens. Of course. He rubs the back of his neck with his free hand, a small reflexive gesture, 6 fingers dipping beneath the high collar of his sweater. There are things that I haven't told you yet. Things about myself. Things I'm not sure you'd like. Of course, there's the great Uncle Ford side of things, with Dipper and Mabel, but you don't really know what happened to me while I was studying here 30 years ago. When you're ready, you can tell me. Ford, you don't have to go into detail about it if you aren't ready to. Ford looks down at the water and his reflection. He frowns, closes his eyes, and thinks for a moment. You've proven yourself to be a good companion, to put it lightly. Of course, the whole dating thing. He blushes. Ford coughs and when you start giggling. Well, what I mean is, there's nothing about you that could do me significant harm. Just wait until I peel off my human skin and become a lizard person. Within the set of species residing on this earth, there exists a race of lizard people, and surely they walk among us. Elisa, that subject is no joking matter. You stare at him, an eyebrow raised. Both of you burst out laughing, the sound echoing around the empty pool, and from the corner of your eye you notice Ford scooting closer to you. Elisa, you hadn't heard of gravity falls until you crashed into the shack because of my magnet gun, correct? I read about the shack being a tourist trap in Oregon, but that's just about it. Gravity Falls wasn't even on my map. Why do you ask? That's to be expected. Most people don't know about Gravity Falls until they see it for themselves, or do elaborate research on it. Remember when we went hunting for the Mothman? How I warned you about the other creatures that can be found in the woods and around town? I'll never forget our grand adventure. Yes, our adventure. You think back to your time hanging out and finding the Mothman. You didn't even know what Ford was like back then. Privately, you could consider it almost like a first date. Well, my point was, there are so many more oddities, bizarre creatures, geographical anomalies, secret societies, and strange townspeople. Like I've said before, this unique concentration of weirdness is what drew me to Gravity Falls in the first place, and made it the perfect place to conduct my research. Why was the weirdness centralized to Gravity Falls? Exactly, that's what I wondered. My biggest question during these studies was why? Why was this town so strange? I tried to find an answer, a unifying theory that would pull my research together and finally grant me success. But I hit a wall in my search. I had no ideas, no leads, with nothing and no one to help me until I found a being by the name of Bill Cipher. He came to me in my dreams, claiming he was a godly muse, a friend, someone who could do a lot with a little help, and I believed him. Ford continues with a certain bitterness you've certainly never heard in his tone before. I put my unconditional trust in him. I asked for his wisdom, for his guidance, put him on a godly pedestal and worshipped him, even going as far as to litter my house with his image. Did you have, like, posters and stuff? Ford stares at you incredulously. You know, like Mabel and her boy bands, did you have posters dedicated to him? To some degree, Did you smooch him before bed every night? Ford shakes his head, curling his lip in disgust. Thankfully, I harbor no feelings of that nature toward Bill. I look to him for knowledge, and knowledge alone. But I did have a shrine or two. Wouldn't put it past you. Well, when I consulted Bill about my unifying theory, he told me that my answer lay in another dimension and that he could help me build a portal to it. Obviously, I built it without hesitation, without thought, and instead of being a doorway to weirdness dimension, as I'd been led to believe, it turned out to lead to the nightmare realm, Bill's realm. He had tricked me. All he had wanted was to cross into our dimension and model it all into his chaotic image. I shut the portal down because his plans could be realized, but it was too late. My mind was in shambles from Bill's influence. I should have ended it. I should have torn the portal down, but I had put so much into making it work, I hid the instructions for its operation instead. I tried to entrust a piece of it to Stanley, but after 10 years apart, Ford pauses, sucking in a deep breath. We fought. In the midst of it all, one of us pushed the button and pulled the switch. The portal was reactivated that day, and I was pulled into it. I spent the next 30 years in that portal. Years of searching for the answer to a new question, how to defeat Bill once and for all. But I was pulled back to this dimension, my home dimension, too early, and all this frustration came crashing down. In this tiny town in the grand multiverse, I truly believed I was meant for something more. Bill told me that I would change the world. I never questioned if it would be better or worse. You were doing what you thought was best. At the time, of course, but I didn't realize the repercussions of my actions would be so catastrophic. But you did it, right? Did what? Built the portal, left, came back, etc. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. I did, yes, but I didn't do it alone. I was pulled back through the portal by Stanley himself. And Dipper and Mabel, of course. However, because the portal had been reactivated, Bill could enter our world at any time. I destroyed the portal device once and for all. But what was left was an interdimensional rift from space and time, left over from the portal's last operation. It had the potential to let Bill through to our dimension. I contained it, but the rift shattered. Bill entered the physical realm and wreaked havoc on Gravity Falls in an event called Weirdmageddon. What happened during Weirdmageddon? It was, to put it lightly, the end of the world. That's not putting it lightly. It was the apocalypse. Weirdness exploding from every corner. Anomalies even I couldn't explain everywhere. It was all Bill's doing. But he breathes out, frustrated with himself. It was still my fault. As much as I want to go back on myself and say it wasn't, I still caused the whole thing. I brought Bill here. I helped him with his plan. Don't let it define you. You learned a lesson. Sometimes people don't have the best intentions at heart. By the sounds of it, this Bill character has no heart. He's a demon, so no. It's a mark on your conscience, and it hurts to remember. But you fixed your mistake. You stopped the world from ending, and you remembered that your family are some of the best dang people I've certainly ever met. And you get to be related to them. They are rather great. And even after all that, they still love you, don't they? Mabel set us up a romantic dinner. Dipper wrote you a DED-MD campaign. Stan, well, you know how much your twin brother cares for you. He built your entire portal back up and brought you home. Ford nods, squeezing your hand. It was awful and bad, and yeah, you messed up, but it doesn't define you. You're incredibly intelligent and fun to hang out with, and sure, sometimes I don't understand half of the sciencey stuff that comes out of your mouth, but that's all part of you. And that makes me like you all the same. Ford finally turns to look at you and he winds an arm around your shoulders. You scoot closer and complete the hug, draping your arm across his middle and hugging him tight. Thank you for listening to me ramble. It wasn't rambling, it was your life, and I'm very happy to learn more stuff about you whenever you want to tell me more. Ford pauses, thinking. My favorite snack foods are jelly beans. I hate toffee peanuts. Honestly, I kinda guessed the whole jelly beans thing. Ford laughs and you laugh with him, nuzzling into his chest. You feel him swallow before he presses his lips to the top of your head. Thank you. You're welcome, Ford. He smiles at you a moment longer, then it falls as he sobers. I suppose I wanted to tell you because you're leaving soon. The acknowledgement that in a matter of days your time in Gravity Falls will be over should feel final, but instead it only feels distant. You sit back, relinquishing Ford's embrace, and he speaks again. Elise, what are you doing after all this? When you get your car back, what will you do? I'll, finish the road trip. I never did get to finish my road trip. It would be comforting to think that Ford will still be here in Gravity Falls for summers to come, but you recall that Stan and Ford don't even live on land anymore. They'll be setting sail again, exploring the seas, documenting the oddities around the world. From what you've already heard about it, it's intense stuff that keeps them from the move and untethered. Tell Ford how you feel. Ford. Yes? Never mind, it was nothing. Let's just enjoy this. So you do, sunlight starting to bleed between the pine trees and the sun sets on your last night in Gravity Falls. What? Pardon? What the fuck? What did you even try to be nice to him? I was nice! What the fuck? Okay, let's try that again because I'm not taking that shit. Go back. Okay. Okay. You didn't mean to cause the end of the world. You made a mistake. I've messed up a lot, you know. We're human beings. Sometimes you hurt someone, sometimes you cause Witmageddon, but you didn't mean to do it. But no buts. You're human, Ford. Even if it was awful and you blame yourself, you didn't falter because of it. You stopped Bill, right? It's all okay now. You live and you learn. Ford nods, squeezing your hand. It was awful and bad and yeah, you messed up, but it doesn't define you. Ford finally takes a look at you. Thanks for listening to me ramble. Thank you. You're welcome, Ford. Finish the road trip. Ask Ford if you can stay in touch. What will you do when summer ends? Just what I figured. What the fuck? What did I do wrong? Tell me what I did wrong. Again. What happens if I choose this? If you didn't mean to, you had some fault in the matter. But you thought what you were doing with the portal and all, it would help your research, that it would lead you to success, and yeah, you read Bill wrong, it's not the end of the world. Well, it was, but Ford laughs at that, and you never heard a more relieving sound in that moment. But you and your family managed to stop Bill and stop the end of the world, and I think you learned something from that, you know? And what would that be? That you don't have to take everything on alone. Your grip on Ford's hand tightens. That you can trust other people to help you with burns too heavy to carry alone. Ford nods, squeezing your hand. It was awful and bad, and yeah, you messed up. Okay. Head home? After all the time I've spent here, I was planning to head home. It would be comforting to think Stanford would be here. Stay in touch. Okay, that's a whole lot better. Apparently I needed to tell him it was his fault. Welp. I'll take it. As long as I don't get that other stupid thing. Fucking bullshit. It's your last day in Gravity Falls. Weeks ago you worried today would never come. We all know this from Stanley's Path. When you make your way out of the shack, Fern and Stan take each other to the tarp. Yay, it's my car. It looks amazing. I don't want to go. Fuck it up again. Take a sledgehammer. Smash it up. Like you thought you were rid of me? Think again, bitches. I'm coming on that boat. Could never. Thank you, Stan. It's been unforgettable. Something to remember us by. I don't know what that was from. Suits from me too. Save it for later. Except I guess you were about to say goodbye when Ford interrupts you. Elise, wait. Oh boy. Come on kids, back in the house, nothing to see here. Oh, but I want to see. Bye. Stan shoos the kids back into the shack, leaving Ford and you alone outside. Ford steps closer to face you. Elise, I've never been great at relationships. In college I ruined what chances I had, and anything after that is best left forgotten. But I think I want to try this with you, Elise, if you'll have me. I think this will work, and I want to keep in touch, Ford. I wanted to ask for your number ages ago, but the shack's landline isn't exactly private, and I don't think you own a cell phone. Ha, no. Stanley's the one who bothers with cellular phones for the kids' sake, but I connected my watch to the interweb, as they say, and you can send me an electronic mail, or... Ford hands you a folded piece of paper with parts of his cursive peeking from its folds. You almost start to unfold it before Ford places his hand over yours. You can send me a letter. This one's just to start us off. You look up at him and feel the desire to... Oh dear, don't shake his hand! Don't be so formal, what the fuck? Give him a kiss. You lean up to give him a parting kiss on the cheek. When you step back, he's blushing. You know, Elise, meeting you has made me incredibly glad that I made that mistake with the magnet gun. Not that stranding you here was a positive, but remember me, alright? Same to you, don't forget me while you're off saving the world on the Stano War. Goodbye, Ford. Ford watches as you get in your car and start up the engine. You turn on the road with ease, and in the rearview mirror you see Ford waving goodbye, as well as Dipper, Mabel and Stan from the shack. You smile at the sight and say one last goodbye into the quiet of your car, watching until you leave to focus on the road once more. A little while longer and you're going through town back on the open road. A sign passes on the right now leaving Gravity Falls. I don't want to leave! No! Turn that car around! It's not until you're at the next rest stop that you think to open Mabel's gift. Well, the Pines' family gift. You unwrap it to find Mystery Shack souvenirs, a small knitted sweater, square Mabel has helpfully labeled as mug sweater, and a photo. Yeah. My sweet baby boy. Sofa Knight strikes again. Doesn't his... Okay, now I know he's posing because I tried reading like that and my arm was asleep in 5 minutes. I just can't do it. I love him so much. Wait, can I? The end. Thank you for playing. I want to go back. Hey, gallery? I missed one? What? Let's see. Next. Next. Okay, next. 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 Next, next, next. That's my favorite. I missed one. Okay, I know this one. I don't know this one. This one. I better not click on it because my nose will start fucking bleeding again. This one, this one. I actually haven't seen this one. Did I accidentally skip it or something? I don't... Should I click it? Okay. I'm going to take a sip and I'm going to swallow it before I open the picture, before I choke again. Okay. Here we go. Oh my god. No. it's the dream thing with the good morning. What the fuck? But apparently I missed one here and I don't know how I can trigger it. How do I trigger it? Maybe there's some hinting at the I don't know. On the site where I downloaded it from? It's a fan project made out of love for Gravity Falls and its characters, which belong to Alex Hirsch and Disney. We do not claim any ownership over Gravity Falls and do not profit from this fan project. Version 1.0.1 made with Rent Pi 7.0.0.196. Contains free software under a number of licenses, including the MIT license and the GNU Lesser General Public License. A complete list of software, including links to the full source code, can be found here. Well, I guess that's the end of everything. I'm about to cry again. Why are they not real? Well, I'm going to end this episode here, and I think next I'm going to play some more of Michonne. And I think I'm also going to start a Dream Daddy gameplay, because I have that game in my Steam folder, and I never even got around to play it. I have seen videos of it by other people who've played it, but I don't know. I want to try my own hand and my own choices on it. Okay. Bye bye.